I'm here with Mocs head coach Mike Donnelly. Coach, thank you for coming in. Super excited for this one. Obviously super excited for the regional tournament. And you guys had a really tough season. Making it to the regional is a big accomplishment. Obviously a team full of talent, a team full of productive players. But how did you really find what worked for this team despite all that adversity?
Yeah, it was a challenging year in a lot of different ways, but a gratifying year. No doubt. To hear our name called last night as the number 3 seed in the South Region was awesome. We had a watch party at my house late last night, bunch of food and stuff like that for the guys, and we went crazy when we heard our name called. But it was one of those years where the way we thought it was going to go didn't go because we were detoured with different injuries and setbacks and things like that. So it's just one of those unique years where we really had to just kind of stay together and figure it out. A lot of this stuff was just kind of figure out on the fly and just try to stay above water. That's a term we used a lot throughout the year, which we did a great job, overcoming a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries, and to set ourselves up now to put ourselves in the regional as a third seed, even though we had a setback in the quarterfinal of our conference tournament, says a lot about the resume that we built throughout the year. So I'm really proud of what we accomplished this year and really excited moving forward heading into this weekend with the NCAA tournament.
And Coach, you talked about the quarterfinal. Obviously you guys want to advance from that one, but still getting players back in that one. You were getting Alex Steen back for his second game and he missed some time. And how are you hoping to continue to see Alex return to the role we saw earlier in the year as one of the best defensive player of the year in the conference and a great all-around player? How are you hoping to see him continue to grow and also continue to provide for this team as the regional starts?
Yeah, and Alex did a great job when he was out. I mean, he missed 9 games, doing a lot of condition, what he could do, even though he was in a boot, to try to put himself in position. Once when the x-rays showed he was healed, to be back on the floor. And, I mean, he only had a couple practices before we threw him back out there. And you could tell, especially in the Berry game where we extended his minutes, he was a little tired. And we were a little out of the rhythm for whatever reason. But Alex's strength is right now as a young player is his motor. I mean, he has an unbelievable motor and just gets stuff done because he plays so hard. And if you're a little, if you've missed 9 games and you haven't practiced for 6 weeks, your conditioning's a little off, that's gonna be a little bit of a struggle. So now with us having a lot of practice time in preparation for this upcoming weekend, I'm really excited to see him get back to the level where he was prior to his injury. Because I do think he's an X factor. Not too many teams in the country have a guy who missed 9 games who we can get back at the end of the year like we did with Alex and throw him back out on the floor and have him be a huge factor for us. So we're excited to see him get back implemented with us, back in rhythm, get his conditioning and timing back, and he'll be a big force for us this weekend.
And Coach, talking about Alex and just the team as a whole, you guys had that week from that Berry game, or a little bit over a week until this regional matchup. You guys were one of the best defending teams in the country, and that's been a real staple for this team. You guys always, under your system of play, always a fast-paced offense, a solid offense. What did you tell the guys after that Berry game where it seemed that offense was a little bit off and then the defense was still starting to settle in with Alex coming back?
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why we were a little off offensively is because we just missed some shots. Yeah. And Berry made shots. Yeah. And they made some tough shots. And I thought that deflated us a little bit. As much as we want to say you got to stick with it, it's hard mentally when you getting some good looks offensively, but for whatever reason it's not falling. And then at the other end, you think you're playing pretty hard defensively, contesting some shots, and they're making some crazy shots. Unfortunately, it was one of those games for us. But we're kind of getting back to what like you just said, what we've been able to do all year is play, first and foremost, really hard at the defensive end and execute the defensive end, and then have that carry over to a fast-paced rhythm offensively. And that's what we've worked on in practice. We did that Thursday and Friday of last week in practice. We took the weekend off, and we'll get back at it today. But we have about 3 days where we can really go live in practice, which I'm hoping will really benefit us and carry over to this weekend. Because, it's fun style of offense that we play, but we have to guard, we have to rebound at a high level. And we do lead the country in blocks. And another reminder to the guys, if we have games where we have 7 or 8 blocks in a game, we usually win those games. So we're going to look to contest a lot of shots this weekend.
And you guys will be playing the SIAC champs, Clark Atlanta. And Clark Atlanta is a team that's pretty good at avoiding those blocks from bigger defenses. They only have 2.4 blocks on them per game. So that'll be a challenge for you guys. But how are you hoping for your team to execute against this Clark team, which is a little bit different than some of the opponents that you play in the Sunshine State Conference?
Yeah, without question. We watched them this weekend in their conference tournament, and they're good. They're 25-5. They have really good guard play. They have the Player of the Year, who's one of their better players in the South Region, who's a really good guard, averaging about 18.5 points a game. They have two 6'8", 6'9" athletic long guys, so we'll be challenging the front court. But what I've been impressed with Clark Atlanta from a little bit that I watched is their toughness. They're a tough-minded group. They're well coached, and they play really hard. They play with a certain type of confidence. So those are the main components that we're going to be focused on, especially today, tomorrow in practice, just making sure that we got to have our confidence. We got to make sure we're ready to play because Clark Atlanta has won a lot of close games. They've won a lot of games down the stretch with their guard play, so they're used to being in tough situations. So we're going to have to make sure that we have our speed, we have our focus, intensity, but most importantly, our confidence. That's going to be big. We want to be excited to play on the big stage, but also confident that, obviously we can get the job done.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Looking forward to that matchup. And where can we watch that at? Do you know?
I believe you can go right to NCAA.com. I'm sure if you go to our website, Brad will have it all set up where our website will take you right to the NCAA link. And we play at noon. We play the first game on Saturday, and hopefully we can advance and play Sunday night.
Got you. Sounds perfect. And make sure to watch that on NCAA.com. And you can find everything at FSCMocs.com. And Coach Donnelly, thank you again for coming in, and good luck in the regional and hopefully national tournament.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.